Feige also indicated that other Marvel characters will eventually be recast, including its most iconic roles like Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. Where's the quote? Where's the quote? He indicated that? Where's the quotes? Did he tell you, hey, yo, that interview part where I talked about Tony and Steve, take that out? Where is the
Probably.
quote?
Probably. I think Superman. You can use some of that stuff, but not all of it.
There's that Chillmonger guy on YouTube. He's going to use this as ammunition for why we can't have T'Challa back. You, we can't use the word reboot. We'll start saying reset, but there's no recast.
Yeah, he's not in discussions with Marvel. That is fan talk.
Yeah.
Just like with now, he could just be saying that just because it's like one of those things like, hey, this needs to stay under wraps. We're trying to keep on who we're talking, blah 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 blah. But then you got Damson's out there who seems to be able to talk about it publicly somewhat mildly or whatever. But however, he said it's fan talk and that no one, that it's all love and he appreciates it and all that kind of stuff. And, he had his manager or the producer of Cross or whoever it was that said that they've talked about it quietly behind the scenes and how cool it would be and things like that. And he's publicly even stated that he wants fans to know that the character he wants to play more than anything is Black Panther. So when he's sitting here talking about recasting eventually this and eventually that, core characters, I don't know if they consider T'Challa a core character. He might, he's a character that made them $1.3 billion. And at one point in time, I thought maybe they do consider him a core character, household name. But the lack of respect and the major disrespect that has been put on him since 2020, and we still don't know what's going on. It's crazy. So we'll see.
Yeah. And time is running out. It used to be, we don't know what they'll do. They've got so much time. Wakanda Forever, they could make the movie in the blip. And there's always been these kind of deadlines, and we're able to push back. And push the deadline back. But once Secret Wars happens, and the universe is repaired, fixed, there's a brand new normal, and you tell me that T'Challa is older now, that's your T'Challa now? We're not getting no Aldous Hodge. We're not like when our voices aren't being listened. It's TJ, the new BP. Yeah, I'm checked out. I'm not even. I can't. I can't. I think many people in our audience are too. Damn, you guys are on this early.
Yes, this is the morning report. New thing we do. This is week 2 of it, at least. Grand Reacher Threat. I think it's one of your first times being here.
Wake up.
Carter Grayson that said after Secret Wars there will be another T'Challa, and again that's just bold. That's bold, and that's you're coming in, I guess, so hard on like it, and it's like period, stop, period. There's no ... There's no question. It's just period. He's going to be recast, and I would love to know where you're coming with that information. Like, how do you know T'Challa is going to be recasted after Secret Wars? Where are you getting that information to where you can just full stop? He's going to be recasted. Because if you, if you're seeing that from everything, again, that I just laid out from 2020 to now, the disrespect that they've put on, the convoluted mental gymnastics they wanted you to do with X-Men 97 when they tried to make you say, or tried to make you believe that, no. Even in the 90s series, that wasn't him. Even when the creator of that episode, that T'Challa episode came out and said, no, that was T'Challa. I wrote that episode. What evidence points to, oh, he's coming back, they want him back? You forget, as I did not mention as in my first little spill there, Ryan still has a fucking story to tell. And if you think that after $800 million that they look at as a success for Marvel Studios after $1.3 billion of its predecessor, if you think that he's going to look at that and say, fuck that story, I feel different, my friend, I don't feel that same way. I feel different now. Let's get somebody else in here, because he once said in 2022, you could say, well, Darius' feelings could change. We just couldn't see and can't see anybody coming in and being that guy. So if you think that they're going to deviate from the story he told in 2022 to tell a different story, to just what are we going to do? Just the kid, he's just in Haiti, and then we just pick up in modern day, and now there's a new black. You're sadly mistaken.
That's what we're getting. That's the plan. Hashtag recast T'Challa. We've done it. We've done recast T'Challa trending days. We've tried to spread the word. Concentrated efforts. We'll continue trying until it's too late to try, and then we cut. But just remember this passion, remember this fire, and remember how the public sentiment isn't where you want it to be for this character to return. That there are still Shade Room or other Instagram outlets comment section lighting up saying TJ T'Challa Jr. He's the one. I loved this movie. When he died, it was so awesome. Still debating if I'm paying for first steps. I don't.
And see
I don't.
and that's a tough, and I it's a tough one. It's tough
No.
because I'm invested. I'm going. That's the thing. I'm still invested. I still, as I said before, after Secret Wars, if I feel as if this ship with Black Panther and black characters, because it ain't just Black Panther, I can go down the list. We've gone in before. War Machine, Don Cheadle's show canceled, turned movie, show turned movie, then canceled. Blade never happened. Ironheart got no promotion. They didn't give a fuck about that. T'Challa is dead. Monica Rambeau's show got canceled. Okoye's show got taken off the table. I mean, I want to say, is that the bulk of the black shows? Yeah, everybody's like, well, stop complaining. We got Brave New World, Captain America.
Did you not hear them say that they're recasting though? Like
yeah, they literally just said
to how Steve Rogers will be back.
Exactly.
The quote specifically, again, it was even more intriguingly, Feige also indicated that other Marvel characters will eventually be recast, including its most iconic roles like Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. He pointed to many other film franchises that have done the same thing multiple times over. So when you tell me Sam Wilson, he's Captain America, he was in the movie, like there's a vote of confidence or like there's some future, it's always been what I call it, temporary representation. He was here. They did not uplift the Falcon brand to be on par with Black Panther, Iron Man, Hulk. They made him Captain America to keep that thing warm, and then in comes Steve Rogers with the recast. And after Secret Wars, Steve Rogers gets to return, and down goes Anthony Mackie's character. I'm right. Killmonger's right. You know what? Because
you're right.
Applies foresight. He can see the patterns
absolutely
from the past to inform the future.
You're absolutely correct. I mean, that is a statement you stand on all the time, the temporary representation. And that is what it is. It's temporary representation. As they stated, Captain America is going to be back. I mean, you look at the poor reception that was Brave New World.
Play this too, since it's kind of relevant to what we were talking about. Kevin Feige on recasting T'Challa.
Chadwick Boseman was an immensely talented actor and an inspirational individual who affected all of our lives professionally and personally. His portrayal of T'Challa the Black Panther is iconic and transcends any iteration of the character in any other medium from Marvel's past. And it's for that reason that we will not recast the character. However, to honor the legacy that Chad helped us build through his portrayal of the King of Wakanda, we want to continue to explore the world of Wakanda.
Why don't they continue to explore the world of Iron or the world of captains? You know, we're going to continue America. It doesn't work that way. Take every word he said and just apply it to the top black character in the history of cinema. Are we going to act like he didn't say it? Are we going to act like Robert Downey Jr. and Steve Rogers are not immensely talented? That they're iconic? That they transcend any iteration of the characters that we've ever seen in the past? No, we can't act like that, because all of that is true for the Steve Rogers character and for the Tony Stark character. But we're only applying it to T'Challa to gatekeep T'Challa. See, this, to block T'Challa, absolutely. We're going to implement these rules. You know, when you're too great and you do better and you're an inspiration, and when you're this actor who transcends and you're black, you can't use you anymore. That's your character. That's it. But when you're white, we can make you Doctor Doom now. We can use you in Human Torch. You'd be a great cameo for Deadpool. That's the difference here. It's a double standard that's crazy, and it's right in front of my eyes. It's right in front of our faces, the way that they treat T'Challa compared to they treat Steve Rogers and Tony Stark. And Hugh Jackman as the Wolverine. They're all being recast. Darius and Chill, what is it about T'Challa? Why are they treating him this way? I don't know. I'll get back to you on that.
Oh, no, you said it right. I'll get black to you on that one. There it is. There it is. It's I've said this before, and I'll say it again if there's new viewers. It's terrifying to them. terrifying. The $1.3 billion they love. That doesn't have color. That's green. They see that. That's green. That lines our pockets.
Mm-hmm.
But when you sit that educated black man on a throne of an uncolonized nation, of the most technologically advanced nation in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the Galactic Empire, he is proficient in almost every form of martial arts. He has what? Correct me if I'm wrong. 7, 8 PhDs. The man is the protector of his country, and he's an Avenger, and he's badass. The most precious metal in the world can only come from within his nation.
Used to be until adamantium.
Well,
now.
yeah, until you change. Well, not only that, Namor and them got vibranium too. I digress.
Oh, damn! Did they make him less special? Yeah.
I digress. So yeah, of course, that's terrifying. And then when you have that coupled with that was fine alone in the comics. It was like, oh, okay, just readers are seeing that. But then when you have the most successful cinematic universe in the world that puts that spotlight of Marvel's first $1.3 billion, and then the black folks are going to see it in droves. I saw it 16 times in theaters, 16 times, not an exaggeration, 16 times in theaters. I took my basketball team. For those of you that don't know, I coached AAU basketball. I was a part of the Nike Pro Skills program. We took our program and rented out 2 different theaters to have the boys and go see that film. It was a cultural phenomenon. That's terrifying. When you got white kids wanting to dress up as the Black Panther for Halloween, that's terrifying. You got black kids wanting to be T'Challa. That's terrifying.
And that's why they'll give you this thing so that you get something. But what we're not getting is popularizing and elevating T'Challa, the IP, that 59-year-old character. What you're going to do is you're going to age up this thing and invest in this little thing. While he gets older, he'll get a movie, he'll get a second movie. And no matter how much good work happens with that, it's temporary. He'll never exist in a reboot again. Nakia will not have a son in the new movies from 30 years from now when we're doing Black Panther. They'll start over with T'Challa, hopefully, if they even do T'Challa movies. It's a trick. That's what T'Child represents to me, at least. It's a dead end. It's a fake character. It's a depreciating asset rather than an investment, to put it into a real estate terms. Reject the T'Child with your heart, with your soul. Even more intriguingly, Feige also indicated other Marvel characters will eventually be recast, including his most iconic roles like Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. He pointed to many other major film franchises that have done the same thing multiple times over. Amy Pascal and David Heyman are now searching for a new James Bond, Feige said, referring to the producers of Amazon MGM's upcoming Bond. David Cornsweat, the new Superman, he was awesome. That will always be the case. So our recasts are normal. That will always be the case. Is that what you're saying, Kevin? Got it. Recast T'Challa. Feige acknowledged that stars who've retired their original MCU roles, like Downey and Chris Evans, have made it difficult to imagine anyone else in their character's shoes. But it isn't an impossible task. Then recast T'Challa. He was so good. He transcended iteration. It was so hard to imagine anyone. He brought so much to the character. Nate Moore said these things. Ryan Coogler says, "Oh, my truth. He's so tied to it. So much of him was in that character. I just can't see it anyways." You just said that no matter how amazing Robert Downey was and how integral to the character it was that Chris Evans was able to do Captain America, it'll be difficult, yeah, but you'll still do it. You are applying a standard that exists only for Black Panther T'Challa, that didn't matter for when Harrison Ford came in after William Hurt had died of cancer. Funny, it was the same disease. You are only using it to keep T'Challa off of the screens. The greatest, most impactful, highest grossing, the culture-changing, inspirational, aspirational. A character who has led to things like Ianu that we saw on HBO Max, things like many comic books, many creators, many YouTube channels.
All your black heroes.
You're going to take that away, but in the same breath, in the same interview where we're talking recast, you actually mention how hard it is and how difficult. The quote, where was it? Feige acknowledged that stars who've retired their original MCU roles, like Downey and Evans, have made it difficult to imagine anyone else in the character's shoes, but it isn't an impossible task. then why the fuck is T'Challa an impossible task, Kevin?
And see, that's that point there when he says, it looks like it'd be hard. And no disrespect, my brothers and sisters in this chat, no disrespect to Chad at all. I love Chad. I love Chad more in other roles. I love him in the Black Panther role. My thing is, I would put that standard on Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. before I'd put it on Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman. It's hard to imagine somebody else as Robert Downey as Iron Man. Could I do it? Can I have somebody? Yes, of course. It's film. I have many people come in and play these characters, but that's a tough one. That's one. It's like, damn, he is Iron Man.
We said that about Jack Nicholson. Heath Ledger did great.
Exactly. And I was one of them. I remember when Dark Knight came out, I criticized the casting of Heath Ledger. I criticized the very first poster that we saw, the Why So Serious with him blurred in the back. I mean, like a lot of people, we were all critics, but then we sat down in 2008 and watched him get on screen and perform as the Joker. And to this day, there's been others. Joaquin is great in the first one, but I mean, Heath is in an untouchable spot still.
Just keep comparing it to Batman because Kevin Conroy voiced it and he's killing it as Batman. Michael Keaton did a great job. I didn't mind how Ben Affleck did Batman. You have to afford the T'Challa character to be treated with equality, just like the popular white characters, unless you don't want to get them popular. And that's another conversation.
We are able to have a conversation about Joaquin and Heath and talk about the differences in how they portrayed them. Same with Spider-Man, Andrew, Toby, Tom, how they portray them differently. Can't do that with T'Challa. It stops at Chad.
Like that honors him, as if he is a selfish diva who just would love the idea if we could resurrect him right now and be like, yo, Chad, you were dead for 6 years. And then what they did was they killed the character and no one else gets to play him. Like it? Oh my God, I'm so honored. Like that's the reality. Like that's not who he is. You're robbing him of doing the things that Christopher Reeve gets to be, which is that progenitor of the great character. Someone we can thank. Oh, we wouldn't have Superman the way it is if it wasn't for that actor. We don't have that for T'Challa, and we're robbing Chadwick Boseman of that praise, of that distinction.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta love the part. I think it's hard for anybody to do that when an actor has done such a great role. How are they ever going to replace Sean Connery and James Bond, right? How? Yeah, it's just, how do you do it, bro? How do you do it?
You will not see T'Challa in the MCU 616 universe. We couldn't do it. I mean, I will say when Chad passed, it was a real conversation we had with Coogler about what do we do, and it was a fast conversation. It wasn't weeks; it was minutes of we have to figure out how to move this franchise on without that character.
Emotional.
Because I think we all feel so much of T'Challa in the MCU on the screen, not in comics, right? Is tied to Chadwick's performance, is what he brought to that role, both on and off screen, I would argue, is telling a story without T'Challa.
Why?
And I think it's a challenge we're up for, and obviously we're in the middle of it, and we're figuring it out, and it's so far, I think what we're getting is great, but the challenge of the movie, I think, is to entertain people, but there will be a level of, I think, catharsis in people coming back to this universe without that guy, because that guy and that universe, to me, are one and the same. So as filmmakers and storytellers, you have to figure out how people are going to feel going into your movie and what you want that movie to say about that guy who's not going to be in your movie.
Yeah, but Sean Connery is one of the same with James Bond, right? Isn't that like he was belittling that mindset of attaching actor to character just today? That was yesterday in the article. Kevin Feige was belittling that, but here's Nate Moore explaining that we had a quick conversation with Coogler. When he says we, I think he means Kevin Feige's there too, and everything about Sean Connery is out the window there. We have internet, bro. We got the receipts. We have our memory. We are not foolish. We know what it's like to be lied to. We know what it's like when it's not fair, when it's unequal.